Welcome to the Igniting the CEO Within podcast, where we interview successful high-level professionals to discover lessons they've learned throughout their career that can help ignite that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge, and I'll be your host for the next 15 minutes or so. Our show is sponsored by Quaid, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quaid has developed Launchpad, which offers an opportunity for experienced executive coaches to become licensed circle directors and earn significant recurring revenues. After completing the Launchpad program, you'll lead your own peer advisory circles, helping other CEOs and entrepreneurs excel in their professional and personal lives while providing a community of accountability, challenge, and support. If you'd like to learn more, go to quaidcircle.com. Super pumped for today's episode. I get to hang out with Cherylanne Skolnicki. She's the founder and CEO of Brilliant Balance, and she's out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
Cherylanne, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to share all of your insights and wisdom with our listeners. So I'm just going to jump in if you're cool
Sure.
with that.
Of course.
So you do a ton of work with leadership development and working with people and coaching people and all that kind of stuff. And you've had an amazing career as well. Over that time, my guess is you've seen some excellent leaders and some that maybe weren't so excellent.
Indeed.
If you started to dial it down,
Mhm.
what do you think are some key attributes that separate the excellent from the not so excellent?
Oh, it's a good question. I love that you asked this so consistently. I really think that good leadership of others starts with good self-leadership, right? I didn't even know that term for a long time. But I think self-leadership is really about knowing yourself and being able to manage yourself, right? In any environment, in any context. And if I think about the best leaders that I've seen, they have a level of self-awareness and ultimately self-control, right? They're not like reactive to the environment that they're in. And then that translates through to their ability to lead others. So when I think about self-leadership, something that we talk about a lot within Brilliant Balance is 3 C's. And I'll share those here because I just think it makes it easy to remember. The first one is clarity, right? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you're about? If you think about that in a business context or an organizational context, do you have a vision? Are people clear about that vision? The second one is courage, right? Are you willing to make the call, do the hard thing? Even when maybe it requires a level of grit, it requires you to do something that is not expected. There might be risk involved, again, whether you're leading yourself or others.
Right.
And then ultimately consistency. Can you stick with those courageous actions, sort of no matter what, right? Can you get up every day and keep the trains running on time in addition to whatever the exciting thing is that you're pursuing? So clarity, courage, and consistency, I think, are the hallmark of good self-leadership, and they ultimately translate to good leadership of others.
I like that. So self-leadership is not something that I've heard a lot as an answer to that question. I think it's really good. One of the things that you mentioned in that is grit. And grit is one of my favorite terms. It's something that I've got 2 adult kids that I tried to instill in them, that it's probably one of the most important characteristics that somebody could have.
Sure.
How in the work that you do, how do you teach grit, or can you teach grit?
It's a little bit of you're born with it, right? Have you talked to Angela Duckworth about this? Her
No,
work?
but her book is amazing.
It's so great, right?
Yes.
She's kind of the seminal
Matter of
leader,
fact,
I
I think I
think.
have it over my shoulder.
Yeah, it should be.
It's
It's a great one.
Mhm.
I think in my line of work, the people that I'm coaching and supporting, I think they come to life with a lot of grit. I think grit is something that is, sort of classically defined as like persistence in the face of adversity. If it doesn't work first, you'll try again and you'll try again and again. And that ability to stick with it over time really requires resilience. So what I think I focus on building in the community of women I support is resilience. And resilience is sort of like on the ladder to grit, right? If you have strong resilience, you can recover from a setback.
Yeah.
Both, physically, you have those energetic practices to just stay afloat, but also emotionally, mentally, can you recover from something that's been difficult so you have the energy to try again? right? And then I'm going to link it right back to that courage and consistency, right? Grit
Mhm.
is rooted in those two things. Can you be
Yeah.
courageous over time? And I think the most successful people over time have figured out how to do that, how to get back up again when things don't go as planned. I
It's
do it every
almost,
day.
yeah, right. And I think we do. And I don't get a whole, I don't get into a lot of generational differences because I just, I think it's too easy,
Sure.
to say the generations are different. But I think there is, in the grit component, I think there is something to it, right? Like, I'm significantly older than you. So I'm like, but
Maybe not.
I grew up with my grandfather, if I was on the baseball field, just saying, if I was injured, he'd like, just rub a little dirt on it,
Walk it
Mark,
off, right?
you'll be fine. Right.
Right.
Like, and that was just how we grew up. And
Sure.
I'm not saying that that's entirely right, but there was just something built in that, you know, it's dust yourself off and
Yeah.
get after it.
Try
Right.
again. Right. Right.
So
I think
it's,
that is
yeah.
true. I think, whether generationally grit is declining, we're certainly not serving this generation of young people. Like, my kids are 15, 18, and 21. So I'm raising like this Gen X or Gen
Yeah.
Z generation.
Yeah.
And I'm squarely Gen X. That what I see us doing is robbing them of opportunities for persistence. We've taken a lot of friction out of the system. It's so easy. It started with Google it. Now we're at ChatGPT
Mm.
it. The ability to persist through solving like anything from a calculus problem to an AP US history essay prompt is declining because it's too easy to get to the next thing. That's not their fault. That's an
Hmm.
environment that they're living in that is removing friction, and friction is how you build grit. You have to have that ability to push against something and have it not go well to have the opportunity to try again. If it gives you the right answer the first time, where's it going to come from?
Mm. Well, this is fun. I didn't know we were going down this path. This is great. I love this.
Yeah,
So, okay, I'm gonna keep going on that
sure.
kind of topic because I contend that, having ChatGPT and Google so accessible, also, hinders critical thinking, which is another. Actually, it could be your 4C, but which I think is another key component to success. Right? Is how can you be put in a situation and be able to think through it, whether it's based on history or experience or reading or whatever, to have that ability to critically think is also being taken away from us, right? Like, I love being in a conversation with friends around, a glass of wine and saying, let's just have a
What do
debate,
you think
or
about this? Right.
yeah,
Right.
or do you even remember the movie in, whatever, 1984? Who
Mm-hmm.
was in that? Well, we can
Mm-hmm.
find that out real quick. Well, okay,
Let's
cool, but
think.
can't we just think about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts there?
I mean, I don't disagree with you that we're losing that ability to hold the tension of not having the answer, right?
Mhm.
That holding the tension of not having the answer and sort of working our way to it, fundamentally good for our brains, fundamentally good for creativity. And I think the easy button is getting easier for
Uh-huh.
sure. So I don't know that it doesn't exist. I just think we have to really be a lot more intentional about putting ourselves in the environment where we are having that debate on our own 2 feet. We are solving that problem by thinking it through versus asking for the answer.
Mhm.
Right. And I just think the guardrails have to be a lot higher if we want to continue to have those truly human debates with each other, right? They're fun. They're stimulating.
Yeah.
I'm totally in the camp you're in on that.
Yeah. Well, and then, okay, keep going. So, I don't want to say it's wrong, right? Because
Right.
if you can get the answer easily, of course you should be able to get the right answer. Like, duh. But that next piece, right? Of where can we have, um educated, calm debates with each other. So it becomes a communication,
Yeah.
gap that
Yeah.
we're also instilling too,
Mhm.
right?
And I think, now you're bridging to communication skills. My kids are having pretty interesting debates with AI tools. I mean, they're
Yeah.
engaging back and forth. I think they're very naturally inclined to ask for perspective, play the role of a mentor or advisor Here's some perspective that I have on the
Uh,
situation. What questions would you ask me? And then they can answer them back. So I think a lot of it is in the use case of the tool. And I've been really surprised. My 18-year-old in particular is just really, it feels very organic to him to engage back and forth in that way. So
uh-huh,
in some ways, it's sharpening his thinking skills. But again, it's all in the prompts. We have so much control about, are
yeah.
we saying, give me the answer, or are we
Uh-huh.
saying, dance with me? And that's, I think it's very different when you want to be given the answer or you want to be in the dance.
I love that. I really, really love that. Because you also you have the capacity to not only get the answer, but the chat GPTs and a lot of the AI tools are built to pump you up to, not really, right?
Yeah, you
So
have to tell it not to, right?
yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
I love where you're going with your 18-year-old, especially saying, put me in a situation where a mentor, what would they say? How would
Yeah.
they guide me? What is that?
Play devil's advocate, debate
R-
me on this. Take the other side. Yes. To a
that's
maddening
cool.
level. It never gets tired. Never
That's
gets tired.
cool.
Yeah.
All right, here's a silly question. Do
Sure.
you apologize to your AI, or do you say thank you when you
I
ask them a
do.
question?
I am
Mhm.
polite to my AI. Yes. I actually watched an interview with one of the, people at the epicenter of it, and he said, absolutely. The interaction that we have with it when we are more polite, more compelling, isn't that how we would want it to treat us back? I do. I do treat
Mhm.
it like a little buddy.
Yeah, no, I do too. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't alone.
Right. Right.
All right, so we've covered a lot, right?
Mhm.
And I like a lot of where you're going. The three C's are really great. I love obviously the conversation about grit. I love the challenging of each other to be able to have critical thinking and critical
Yes.
debates, and but still utilizing tools as you continue to coach and specifically focus, and we'll talk uh, quite a bit more about brilliant balance here in a
Sure.
minute, but as you continue to coach women specifically, how do you bring all this together? Like where does it start, and what does it look like, and what does it feel like?
Yeah. That's such a good clarifying question. I think a lot of the women that cross paths with me are trying to move to the next level. And I'm not saying next level of career, sort of the
Sure.
next level of them, the next version
Uh-huh.
of themselves with intentionality. And
Uh-huh.
what I think is really absent in the very busy, overcrowded lives that a lot of them are living, right? Most of my clients are um, professionals with children at home. That would be kind of the epicenter. They're in this midlife chapter where life is really full on all fronts. Their leadership responsibilities are increasing at work. Their family leadership responsibilities are increasing at home, and they're kind of stuck in the middle of that.
Uh-huh.
The level of being able to pause and create some intention about what are we steering toward, and to clarify really what is this season or this chapter of life mostly about, and therefore what are the priorities, what will get my time and energy and what will not, is
Uh-huh.
often like the origin of the work. Right. And if you think about it, a lot of us are just moving through on autopilot. Whatever is coming at us, we're
Yep.
reacting to, we're taking it on. Oh, that's the next job. That's the next rung on the ladder. This is the next kid, the next house. And that train is moving really fast. And so I am really passionate about inserting some well timed pauses so we are sure that that train's moving in the right direction. And also so that we can have a level of like maybe peace, fulfillment about
Uh-huh.
what we are doing every day. I don't want to get to the end of a week and just feel like I got a lot done. I want to feel like I got the right stuff done. And
Right.
so that's very much the work that starts with self-leadership, is knowing what is important to you in this season and how will you align your time and your energy expenditure with those priorities.
Yeah, that's really good. You didn't mention the word self-awareness necessarily, but that's got to be a component of that as
For
well
sure.
too, right?
Yeah. It starts there. And I think a lot of us just, we want what we were told to want. And we haven't spent a lot of time checking in with, what do I actually want?
Mhm.
And that requires back to courage. I mean, to pivot away from what is expected and to say, like, I think for me in this season, in this chapter, it's going to look a little different, but I really feel aligned to it. It's brave.
It is brave, and the recognition that you are going to change as a human forever and ever and ever, ever, right? Like, I mean, that's the goal, right? I
That's the
mean,
goal.
theoretically, it's the more you get exposed to different things and different people, you learn and go, "Oh, I didn't know I like that. That's
Right.
cool. That's what I want to do. I want
Right.
to do more of that." And
Mhm.
that's a really cool journey to be on.
Agree.
Awesome. Hey, this has been so much fun. I want to wrap it up with ultimately I'll ask two more questions, but the
Okay.
first one is, if you go back to 21-year-old Cherylanne, what is one thing you wish she knew?
Um, that it always works out. That it always works out. Like, whatever it is, fill in
Mhm.
the blank on it, it always works out.
Yeah, I like that. I think
I think
yeah,
21-year-old me was really worried a lot that it wasn't gonna work. None of the things were gonna work out. Where I was at that point in my career, I was a year into my Procter& and Gamble career,
uh-huh,
living on my own in Atlanta, trying to, like, who am I gonna marry? Am I ever gonna have a house? So many things. And it really is powerful. You look back, I'm at 51. The benefit of that retrospect is at every turn where I thought this isn't gonna work out, it did somehow, right? You
yeah.
just keep steering. That's back to resilience and grit, I think.
See, well, 21-year-old Mark was a knucklehead, so I didn't have that much fear about about anything. I was just like, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Yes.
All right.
Reckless optimism.
Yeah, that's or no, it was knuckleheadedness, if that's a word. So, all right, this has been a blast. Thank you
Sure.
so much for sharing your insights and all that kind of stuff. Talk about what an engagement with you and Brilliant Balance looks like, and how do people get a hold of you?
Sure. Well, the engagements really vary depending on the scope of support that women want. So for us, it often starts with a course called Your Week, Your Way, that really is the fundamentals of some of what I've been talking about today, followed by one of two levels. We have Brave and Bold. They are increasing levels of support, and usually kind of linked to increasing levels of leadership that women are. Um, that's expected of them in their lives. And those are, like coaching relationships. So one on one
Mhm.
coaching, group coaching, a lot of peer to peer support. We have really powerhouse circles of women. So their ability to support one another is important. And we gather those women in person regularly, in
Yeah.
addition to virtually, because I'm a big believer in human connection and community. And I think women need to get out of their lives a lot in order to do that, to think and be with each other. So that's usually a pretty central part of the engagement as well.
Mhm. Awesome. And how
Yeah.
do people find you?
Brilliant-balance.com. Easiest place. You can also just Google Brilliant Balance. It usually comes up pretty top search, and that gets you to our website, which is the jumping off point for everything.
I love it. I love it. Again, thank you so much for taking some time and hanging out with us and sharing all the stuff you're learning, what you're doing. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Folks, we have done it again. We found another amazing leader with incredible insights and the willingness to share her thoughts and provide some guidance. As we wrap this up, I want to remind you that Igniting the CEO Within is sponsored by Quade, a nationwide community of CEOs and entrepreneurs. Quade has created Launchpad, which provides an opportunity for experienced executive coaches to become licensed circle directors and earn significant annual recurring revenues. To learn more, visit quadecircle.com. Until next time, keep igniting that CEO within you. I'm Mark McFatridge. Thanks for listening.